Welcome to Contractor Cuts, where we cover the good, the bad, and the ugly of growing a successful contracting company.
Welcome to Contractor Cuts. My name is Clark Turner.
I'm Jared Flo.
Thank you for joining us again. So today we are covering the topic, I gotta do something different.
Yep.
We hear from a lot of guys, I've been grinding, I've been doing work, I feel like I'm working more than I ever have, and I'm not making any more money. I'm just stuck in the rat race, not making any sort of headway.
That's right.
Right. And so what we do, and a lot of times when we're coaching, this is where we start with people. We say, hey, listen, let's lay some base foundations down, and you're going to grow off of those. And that's what our coaching program is that we do with people. So today we're announcing a new product that we want to give to you guys.
We're going to be rolling out. Yep.
It is a new service that we're doing. It's called our Business Bootcamp for Contractors. And this Business Bootcamp is a 12-week bootcamp. It's not a long commitment or any major coaching. It is a 12-week foundation laying for you where you're at. Whether you're starting a company, whether you've been doing this for 20 years, the bootcamp that we're going to be offering is a 12-week. Every Friday we sit down, we meet with you, we talk, and you're getting Jared and I on a Zoom call every Friday in the bootcamp. And so,
and honestly, the birth of this is we get a lot of calls, a lot of calls from, different people that are in the position of like, I got to do something different. Maybe they've been listening to the podcast and like, oh man, I love that. I'd love some help with that. I'd love some, help walking through that and setting that up, or I'm just tired of being on the rat race and something's got to change. And so we'll get phone calls from people, and there's, a lot of those people that have joined in on the coaching program, and they're doing well and success and having some success. And there are other ones that call that it's just not the right timing yet. Different scenarios, sequence of events, it's just not the right timing, but they want something. And so you and I kind of put our heads together of like, okay, what could we offer somebody that could be really, really helpful and help those people that want it but are just not quite ready for the coaching level yet. So that's where this kind of came from.
Yeah, if you want to know more about that, again, we're going to dive into really today we're going to run through what the bootcamp covers. And if you're not even coming to the bootcamp, no problem. This is where you start.
That's right.
So that's what we're covering today. If you want to know more about the bootcamp, go to prostruct360.com/bootcamp. And there's some information there. You can inquire. You can set up a phone call with me or Jared to hear about it, hear more about it, understand it more. Just submit the form on that website, or just go to prostruct360.com and go to contact us and say, hey, I'm interested. What do I need to do? You're sitting in front of your computer for an hour every Friday. If you can build that 1 hour for yourself to start working on your company, this is the best spot to start. This is the foundation we want you to lay, and then get into coaching later. Do what you need and what fits you and your needs best. But this is a great place to start to get organized and stop doing the same thing that you've been doing that's not working.
Well, and that's the reality is like whether you join the boot camp or you want to do this on your own, any person that we deal with that is in a spot that like, gosh, I can't get to the next level. Something's got to change. You need to do a deep dive into your business, and you need to spend some specific time making changes in the way that you operate.
That's right.
And start operating in different aspects of your business in a different way. I used to do it this way. I'm no longer going to do it that way. I'm doing it this way, and I think that's going to be more efficient for me. That's going to land me some more leads. That's going to give me more time in my day. Whatever it is, like you need to go through kind of every aspect of what you do, from customer facing, subcontractor facing, all of that stuff, and determine what can I do differently and start operating in a different form or fashion to be able to get over this hump, get to that next level.
Well, I think that's one of the most beneficial parts of our coaching program that you're going to get a taste of in the boot camp, which is if you knew what was wrong, you'd fix it.
Right.
And so that's where we come in and say, hey, have you looked at it from this angle? Have you thought about it from this perspective? And we hear all the time, like guys saying, "This is I'm an idiot." Like obviously, like all I had to do was this differently. Oh my gosh, I haven't even thought of it from that angle. And so that's what we're trying to do. Is if you knew how to do something differently, you do it differently. And so let us show you kind of how to start that direction, right? How to start getting that growth and laying a foundation for you and your company to where you can build growth on, as opposed to just doing the same thing over and over.
It's organized guidance through how to do this.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
So, and today we're going to cover that. We're going to kind of lay out what that looks like. So whether you're coming to Bootcamp or not. Yeah. We're going to gatekeep the secrets, but no, we're going to talk about really the three things that we do cover in Bootcamp, and we're going to try and hone in for you individually while listening to this. What areas do you need to be working on? So there's three main areas that we cover over the 12 weeks in the Bootcamp. The first area is organization through processes and procedures, through systems and processes. How do you organize your company, and how do you start building systems and processes? The second area is time management. Yep. How do you manage your time differently to where you can make more time, get more done in the same amount of time that you're doing now?
Yep.
How
Create
do you get
efficiency with your time?
Yes. And then the third area is financials. What do you need to know? What are you looking at? How do you organize? What should I'm really good at hanging sheetrock. I'm not an accountant.
Right.
What do you need to? What's the baseline that you need to know? And let's start working that direction. So those are the three categories of base fundamentals that we cover in the Bootcamp.
Right.
And so today we're going to go through each of those categories. We're going to ask some questions, and in each of these categories, if these questions ring true for you, that's an area that you are going to need to focus on with your growth moving forward.
Yeah.
And so first and foremost, like we said in the beginning, understanding where you should be working on, opening your eyes to where you're weak is the first spot to start growing and working on those areas. Yeah. So let's walk through each of those three sections. We've got a list of some things that might ring true for you. And so we want you to kind of listen to it, think about it, and do this thing while listening. Try
kind
to
of audit yourself, be honest with yourself.
Exactly.
For these things that you struggle with.
Exactly. So the first, organizing through systems and processes. I've got 5 things that if you're struggling with these, this might be an area that you need to focus on. Yeah. So number 1, does it take you a long time to write estimates or getting estimates back to customers? Is it a week before a customer gets an estimate back?
Yeah.
How quickly are you responding to those customers? Are you doing it quickly? Are they getting good communication back quickly?
Right.
That can be an organization and systems and process thing. Little to no pipeline of business, right? A lot of times when you're just looking at what's happening, what's in my lap right now, I don't see next month, that is a systematic issue.
Yep.
That is not just people don't like me, no one's calling. There is an organization and a systematic way to capture leads and build that pipeline.
Well, and I get a lot of phone calls from people that are having that issue. They don't have a pipeline. They're having a hard time landing jobs. So they just don't win them. And their default is, I just don't know how to estimate well. I don't know my numbers. Maybe I'm charging too much. That ends up being like the reason why they're focused on why they didn't get it. And when I do some more digging, what I find out is, oh, the guy contacted you 2 weeks ago and you just got this estimate to him. Yeah, you're not going to get that.
Yep.
You know, and so anyways.
Yeah, no, that's great. The third thing in this list, varying client happiness. If you have more than 20% of your clients not happy at the end of the job, 20% is a large amount, 2 out of 10. If you're more than 1 out of 10 even, you got some issues. Right. And so how do we make 9 out of 10 clients happy? And if you're below that, it's a systematic problem. It is your systems and your processes are not built around making your customers happy. And unhappy customers don't refer people to you.
Yep.
Even mild customers that were okay don't refer people to you. It's the happy customers that say, hey, I know you're doing your kitchen. You got to call Bob.
Yep.
He's amazing.
Yep.
So varying client happiness, that is going to be an organizational, systematic, process-driven issue.
This one we hear a lot.
Do you have huge crew turnover, a high crew turnover? You have it's tough to get crews out to your projects. Don't blame the crews. Don't blame the industry. Don't blame the climate. If you have high turnover of crews or you're calling crews and it's hard to get them to your projects, it's because you are the problem. It is not the crew's problem. You are the leader here. You are the contractor. You are in charge of making them understand the work, get the work, get paid quickly. There is a system that you need to be running to bring crews in, to keep crews happy, and to keep them here on your team, and to get them to put you at the top of their list as when this guy calls, I'm answering, as opposed to the bottom of the list. If I got no other work, then I'll go work for this guy.
Well, and that is the exact same thing as the next one, which is have you tried to hire one time, two times, multiple times, and they just don't work out. They don't have the work ethic. They're not as good as you. They don't show up on time. Whatever it is that they couldn't do, you have tried to hire, and it just never works out.
That's right. So I'm trying to hire someone and it didn't work out. That sort of thing is a problem with how you organize your systems and processes. It's not, I found the wrong guy, this guy's just an idiot.
Right.
It is you. It is you that has to lay this foundation of how we're going to systemize our systems and process and organization. So let me cover those again real quickly. What you're thinking about in organization through systems and processes, think 1 to 10. 10, all of these things don't ring true.
Right.
This is not, everything here is great. I am perfect at this stuff. I don't have these struggles.
Every one of them hit me, I'm a 1.
If all of these hit, you're a 1. So long estimate writing takes a while to get your estimates back. Little to no pipeline of business, varying client happiness, high crew turnover, try to make hires and it's not working. If that is you, we need to talk through organization of systems and processes. And we're going to do that at the boot camp. That's where you need to be focusing your time. If you're not coming to the boot camp, start looking at how to organize and how to build systems and processes around how I do things. So those 5 things get taken care of passively as you're running your systems. So that's the first of the 3. Next, let's talk about time management. Do you struggle with time management? And some people don't see it. Some people see it and say that's just how I am. That's how I run jobs.
I don't struggle with time management. I'm always busy.
I haven't played a video game in 3 weeks. I work 80 hours a week. Okay, that's not that's bad time management. You're spending too much time doing the wrong things if you're working that much. So let's talk about time management. Waking up in the middle of the night, remembering something you forgot to do. Does that ever happen to you? Is it 12:30 and you're like, crap, I didn't email that lady. Right? If that happens semi-often, you got a time management issue. Missing time with your family on nights and weekends. Are you missing your son's baseball game? Are you not making it to the dance recital? Is your wife feel distant because you're not investing at home? If that's happening, it's a time management issue. Because
I have a ton of guys that they work till 6, come home. The wife and kids are at home, so they have dinner with them. They help to get the kids in bed, and then they're immediately gone. They may leave the house, they may go to their office, but they're back writing estimates, responding, and they're
sitting
just
next to their wife on the couch, but they have their computer out, not engaging their wife.
Which means the 3 or 4 hours that you were there for the wife and kids, you weren't there. You were just waiting till you got to the place that you could get back, and your brain's running on it.
Honestly, one of the most touching stories that you told me about the coaching that we've done, touching in a way of like, this is why we're doing this, is when you were talking with one of the guys that you're coaching, and they were in the car, and his wife was in the passenger seat when you were having a phone call with him, and she leaned over and was like, I don't know what you're doing, but like, thank you for getting my husband back. He's doing better financially than we've ever done, and I have him back at night.
He's here. He's attentive at home.
Whatever you're doing, thank you. And that alone is like, that's why we do this. That's how we get contractors their lives back. And the whole reason we're doing this is for that, right? I'm not doing this because I love building houses and I love money. I'm doing it because I'm trying to create a lifestyle for my family, my kids, my wife, and spend as much time with them as possible. And so if you're missing that, it's a time management thing. Let us help you get that back in your life.
Well, and the reason for that story is it's achievable, right? So most people in the industry, and most people in really any job, something's broke. I'm just going to put in more time and I'm going to work harder. Right? That's just the standard. Okay, so it's not working. I'm not making enough money. My clients aren't happy. So I'm just going to work longer and I'm going to work harder. I'm going to double down. I'm going to do more work. And it doesn't it doesn't achieve you. You just work harder. You're still in the
You're
same
doing the same
space,
thing, just more
right?
of it. Yeah.
The focus didn't need to be on work more. It's actually, how do I work less and achieve more?
Yep.
Right. So it's doable.
Yeah.
Right. You just have to learn the skills of time management.
Yeah, that's right. The next one on the list, high stress daily. This is a stressful industry.
Yeah.
90% of people who work any job is like, it's a stressful job.
Yeah.
I get it. And in this industry, it's even more because you have 7 homeowners calling you with concerns every single day.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't live a life of stress. If you are high stress every single day, you're not managing your time well, because stress is usually induced from reactive things, right? Like if I'm proactive and I lay out my day and I know what I'm doing, when, where, and how, I achieve it and I'm good. It's when I don't know what's going on, I got 17 things to do, and then 14 people call me with adding to that list. So now I've got 30 plus things that I need to deal with. And it's just, I'm not going to get to it all. And babe, I can't come home for dinner. Like, go ahead and have what, like,
right.
That is the issue. It's a time management issue if you're feeling that much stress.
Yeah. Well, and that's the space that I, when I talk to my, the people that I coach, what I say to them is like, you operate in a day where everything's everything all day long.
Yep.
You don't have any organization. It's just like, I'm doing everything. And in your brain, you also know, I have to get X, Y, and Z completed today.
Yep.
And then before you get to X, Y, and Z, this other thing happens that it could be as simple as a client showing up on site when you're doing a walk and wanting to sit there and talk with you and ask questions, and you spend an extra hour and a half, 2 hours on a job site with the client. It creates stress.
Yeah.
There's this buzzing in the background of like, I've got to get to this thing. I don't want to walk away from this client. And it just creates stress.
Yeah.
So that's, again, figuring out how do I do something different? What do I do to not have where everything is everything every single day? How do I dissect that and change the way that I do it?
That's right. The next one, always apologizing, not following through on commitments, right? When I was running jobs daily and I started getting into the spot where I felt like every phone call I was starting with, hey, I'm so sorry, but blah, 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 blah. Hey, I'm sorry. I meant to get that. Hey, I was going to get that done. It's because you're dropping balls,
right?
And you haven't managed your time to handle the responsibilities you have. And some guys are like, I just have too much on my plate. Great. What time management does is say, hey, this is the max I can do tomorrow.
Right.
This is where I'm going to spend my time. And so anything else has to be done on Friday. And then I can ask permission for, hey, Jared, I know you need this done. I have space on Friday. Is that okay? That's managing your time to where you fill your plate with the stuff that you can handle and balls aren't dropped.
Yeah.
Right. So always apologizing. That's a clue that
I love that one.
That's
a litmus test or an indicator that, like, you know what, I think I have a time management problem. If you're apologizing, it needs to raise a flag to you like, I'm probably mishandling, because the reality about time management, it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
There's only a small percentage of people that are just incredibly excellent at keeping it at a high level all the time.
Yeah.
Most people dial in and do really good with it, and then they fall off and they have to get back on and fall off and get it back on. When you fall off, that's an indicator of like, got to get back into my time management.
Yeah, I mean, for me, time management is the same as eating healthy. Like I'm all or nothing.
Yeah.
I've either got a really good calendar or I'm just not living by the calendar.
Right.
And so it's striking that medium ground and having the accountability there that says, hey, what happened last week? What's going on next week? We do our Monday meetings for that reason. Like we lay out what's success this week. What is success for you? What's success for me? What's success for the team? And let's talk through that. And next Monday, we're writing all these down. We're going to see if that happened. That's the accountability. But I want you to look at your week. We've had conversations where Jared's like, hey, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, when? Like, don't commit to that because I don't think you can. Like, let's look at your week. You've got
12 meetings with clients this week. Where are you going to fit all that stuff in?
Like I don't want you to commit to that because you're going to fail and feel like a failure in a week from today, right? And so having those understandings with a coach or with a team member or with someone keeping you accountable helps you say, you're right, I don't have time for, like, I want to be successful and not stressed out, and I don't have time for that, so that's going to have to push next week.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, you're always reactive to fires. When you feel like, one of my things I say to guys when I talk to them, especially when they're getting started, or when they're doing an intro call and trying to find out more, is I'll say, do you feel like you're a full-time firefighter where you're just putting out issues all day long? And guys are like, yes.
And I've also got anxiety about the next time the phone or gun's ring because it can be the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That if you're a firefighter where fires are always happening, it's because you have a bad time management. Time management is how you create proactivity. And all we talk about is being proactive, not reactive. And you do that if you manage your time. Because if I'm not managing my time, and my crews are, and my homeowners are, and my wife is, and everyone else is telling me where to be, and I'm just going and doing and dropping things and running to the job site, that's happening. The space that I have to be proactive and look at next week gets filled up real quick with other people's problems.
Which is also really funny because most people that are entrepreneurs who created their own business did it because they didn't want somebody telling them what to do and managing their time. And that's what you end up doing.
That's right. That's right. And so it's one of those things of, if you are doing that, let us help you understand the mindset behind how to change that, right? Like, how do I build that space and protect that space? And then secondly, I've got that space. What do I do next?
Yep.
Right. That's kind of what this boot camp is doing, is saying this is how you own that time management. So let's cover those again. Think about time management, 1 to 10, 10 being none of these are an issue, 1 being, man, all these sound like me.
Yeah.
Put yourself on a scale. Are you a 1? Are you a 5? Are you a 7? Are you 10? Let me read through them again. Waking up in the middle of the night, remembering something you forgot, missing time with your family on nights and weekends, high stress constantly, always apologizing whenever you answer the phone, not following through on those commitments, and then also dealing with fires day in and day out, always reactive to fires.
Yeah.
If that is you, if you are scoring above a 5, if you're a 9 or a 10 on those things, we're going to work on time management with you.
No, other way around. 10.
Right. That's right. That's right. If you're a 1 below 5 on that, that's part of the time management of what we're doing during the boot camp.
That's right.
And these all kind of work hand in hand, right? The time management builds the time to start organizing and building your systems, right? So it's 3 kind of separate legs to the same animal, and we're working on all 3 of those during the boot camp and kind of getting that base foundation to get everything organized, right? Kind of brushing out that rat's nest to where it's all understandable.
And these are the things that we've identified that if you have a solid foundation of these things, your company can grow.
That's right.
Right. But if you don't, this is where things start falling apart.
That's right. And the third one is financials, understanding your finances and having the data to make decisions, right?
Oh, yeah.
So again, let's talk through what these are. End of the year, you made no money. If you're like, I've worked harder than I have before, I made an extra $3,000 this year over last year. Where's my money going?
Yeah.
That means you don't understand your finances and you're not assessing them often. You can't tell me right now, if you're asked, what was your month over month profit and percentage over the last 6 months, right? If I can call you on the phone and we have a call, I say, hey, what's your P&L look like? And you say, what's a P&L? Right? Or it looks good to kind of good, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have those answers. What was your revenue last month? What was your profit percentage last month? I don't know. Okay, that's fine. Wouldn't it be good if you knew? Because if you don't have that data, you can't make changes, right? It's like saying, I'm gonna build this machine over here, but I don't have the instructions or the know-how to do it. Yeah. Get the data, get the understanding and the directions of what's happening, so you can reactively do it right.
Well, and that specific example is probably the majority of the reason why a lot of general contracting companies go under.
Yep.
They don't understand their numbers, but they make decisions in the business they can't afford to do.
Yep.
And that's I say to people all the time, do you think that Amazon or Apple make strategic business decisions without knowing the numbers?
Yep.
No, they don't, right? Our strategic business decisions are, can I take on this level of business? Can I take on more work? Can I start work with this client who's going to have 45-day payment terms?
Yep.
I'm ready to hire somebody. I'm going to hire them. Can I afford that? Those are all strategic business decisions that are going to cost you money that you have to know, can I afford to make that leap?
Well, it's like, I'm going to buy some heavy machinery. It's going to be $1,500 a month for this machine. The last 3 months, I've rented one and I've spent so much money. We're making good money right now.
Yeah.
Great. Well, let's look at the next 9 months that you have to cover this as well. And let's talk about annually what it looks like. And let's look at your numbers and see if that's even a smart decision to buy. Right? You reactively buy that. Now you've got this noose around your neck of $1,500 a month that you have to pay no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And so that's
I choose
where
to make that decision based off last month. It was the most I've ever invoiced, and I've never made that kind of money any month before that. That's a bad decision. But if the last 8 months I was well above that dollar amount, I can afford that. But you got to know those numbers to be able to make that decision.
If I'm coaching you and you say, hey, I think I'm going to get an excavator, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into your QuickBooks, I'm going to go to your P&L, and I'm going to look at the line item category in your P&L that says tool rental. And I'm going to open that up and I'm going to look how much you spent on tool rentals and throughout the last 12 months. If you don't have your finances organized, there's no data to make that decision.
Right.
It's just a guess.
Yep.
And so that's what we're talking about in organizing and understanding how to look at that. The next one, which is kind of the same, is very similar to what we just talked about, is the pot system of money decisions, right? We see so many guys make decisions by looking at their ATM balance. They pull up their app and say, okay, Wells Fargo says I got $38,000 in here, so yeah, let's go ahead and buy that.
Yep.
Well, you've got $28,000 in checks out there. You want to pay yourself something this month, and you got that Home Depot line of credit that's due. You're negative $5,000 right now. You're not positive $38,000.
That's understanding your numbers.
Yep.
What do your numbers mean? You know what if you have to be able to understand what your numbers are, and that's where a finance account, a QuickBooks or some kind of accounting program comes into play to help you figure out. It doesn't matter what kind of bank account money I've got. It's how much can I afford to spend?
Yeah.
What do I have available to spend?
And that's why we push ProStruct 360 as a software so hard, because all of that stuff gets pushed straight into your QuickBooks, and all you have to do is we'll show you how to read the reports in QuickBooks. We're dumping all that information in there from the software.
Yep.
All of the labor that you spend, you print the checks in our software. You can if you do online ACH, you manage that in the software.
Record
all of
those
that
transactions.
You receive payments from your customer. If you're tied into our copper payment system, when you send an invoice, a customer pays it. It updates your software. It pushes the payment into QuickBooks. It ties it all together, and you don't have to do anything. It just manages it, so you can go in and run a report and look at it, right? And so all of that, getting efficient with your time by getting into a software, by using a payment system that's integrated like that, all of that stuff allows you to quickly open up QuickBooks and say, the bank account says $38,000.
Right.
QuickBooks amount is negative $5,000. Crap, I need to go figure out how to get $5,000 to cover what's owed.
Right.
And so that's what we're talking about. Of if I spend some time organizing this in the front end, I can be very proactive very quickly, and in 5 minutes understand where my money is. And then the last thing in finances, you're doing more work than ever while making no additional money.
Kind of what I said before. I'm doubling down. I'm going to work more. I'm going to put in more hours. and if I do that, it's going to equal more money.
Yeah, I think
it doesn't.
The first one that we listed, end of the year, you made no money. I think along with that, with the end of the year thought is, how easy is it to do your taxes, right? And is it taking you 2 days to put everything together, whether you're doing it or your accountant's doing it? If for me, my accountant has access to my QuickBooks. I don't do much, right? It's a 30-minute phone call with them to answer some questions about what I spent on healthcare, right?
If it comes down to your tax time, you place a phone call to your CPA and say, "Hey, man, it's time to do taxes," and you hear him go,
"Yeah."
You probably got some issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
because it's a lot of work to get you filed because your money's out of order.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let's do the 1 to 10 on finances.
Yep.
If these hit true, you're at a 1. If you, like, none of this is an issue for me, I'm squared away, you're at a 10.
Yeah.
Right. So end of the year, you made no money, and it's very hard to do your taxes.
Yeah.
You can't tell me right now, if you're asked, what was your profit last month? What was the profit percentage over the last 6 months? You can't answer basic financial data questions.
If you say, it's about this, you don't know.
How do you make money decisions? Is it the pot system? Are you just looking at the bank account when you're making decisions? I haven't looked at our bank account to make a financial decision in years, because that's just a number of uncashed checks.
That's right.
Right. And so how are you making those financial decisions? And then you're doing more work than ever, and you're making no additional money.
Yeah.
If that rings true, it's because you don't understand your finances.
Yeah.
And so if you're under a 5 on that, on that scale. Let's work harder on the financial side and understanding your data.
Yeah.
And again, all three of these, the time management, the organization through systems, and the finances all build on each other. If I'm not organized in my systems, I don't have the data to look at.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't have time management, I don't have time to organize.
I don't have time to do the finances.
I don't have time to look at my finances. I don't have a space to go in. So this feels overwhelming to a lot of guys when we start here, but it's saying, listen, we have a 12-week program where we're going to sit down and walk through how to do this, how to set that foundation for yourself and your company to focus on each of these bite-sized pieces at a time.
Yeah.
And so what we encourage you to do, if you sign up for the boot camp, you're going to have an hour with us Friday morning, and we want you to block off until noon on Friday.
Time management.
Time management. All you got to do is pretend you're in an estimate from 8 a.m. till 12 noon on Friday morning. You're going to do an hour with us, and then afterwards, you're going to spend an hour or two doing the things we talk about in the boot camp.
Right.
That's all you got to do, and you're going to get all this stuff squared away. I promise you're going to feel it after 12 weeks. You're going to say, I need more of this.
Yeah.
Right. And if after 12 weeks you want to do coaching, great. If you feel, hey, I'm set up, I'm good, awesome. Whatever it is, we're going to work through getting all of these things set up. If you're not a 10 out of 10 in all of these columns, maybe you're 10 at finances because you love numbers and your financial. Great. How's your organization? How's your time management? How is your systems and hiring and crew happiness and customer happiness, right? Everyone struggles in different spots, and we cover how they all fit together to where you're at a 10 out of 10 in all three of these categories.
Right.
That being said, if you're not coming to the boot camp, or even if you are coming to the boot camp, we have one thing you can do in each of these categories today to start moving forward in your growth. All right. So in organization, this is going to feel self-promoting, but
because it is
for organizing and getting systems, get into ProStruct 360. We have a free version of the software that you can write estimates and send invoices. If you go to the $89 level, you have your logo on the estimates, logo on the invoices, and you can also create work orders. But if you want to start with organization and you need something actionable today to start organizing how you're doing, we're going to write estimates the same way in the same spot and get it efficient.
Right.
With the software, you can efficiently write one very quickly, and we'll show you how to do that. We're going to invoice from there, and we're going to send work orders to crews. Those three things, estimates, invoices, and work orders, I'm doing the same way every single time and systemizing when and how I do that. That's for the organization and systems. That's where we want you to start. Get in the software and start having a systematic way to do that, because that's kind of a base of how you're running your company.
Yep. Time management.
Time management number 2, you're going to get one office day a week. Like I said, I like Fridays because for contractors, they feel fairly slow. If it's not slow for you, pick Tuesday. Right. Don't pick Monday. Mondays are crazy.
Monday's always a crapshoot.
Pick Tuesday, pick Thursday, pick whatever day is good. I like Fridays. Also, we're doing the boot camps on Fridays. So if you had half a day dedicated to the time management slot, we will tell you how to fill that time. Just start building a spot that is reserved for working on your company, not in it, not responding to emails, not building estimates, not talking to customers, but we're working on growing your company. And then finally on finances, to understand your finances, you need that data. So what we want you to do, again, get on the software. If you're on the complete level, which is $199, it connects to QuickBooks. QuickBooks software, all of your data is going to be tracked for you.
Yeah, and it takes having your QuickBooks connected to your software takes what you need to be doing in QuickBooks and reduces it down to about 25 to 35%.
Yep.
Everything else is handled for you. It's automated. It just happens because you're using the software. So it's beneficial for it to be set up.
We'll show you the minimum stuff that you should be doing in QuickBooks to keep the accounting side up to date.
Yeah.
But it will save you 75% of the time that you are spending, if you are doing it right, that you would be spending in there. And we push that so far as your first step because we can't analyze your data and help you make good decisions as a company when we're coaching until there's data there. And you can't just do this today and tomorrow we have the data. You need months of data to analyze it. And so starting today with getting all that data captured in your QuickBooks, captured in your software, allows us then in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months to look back and say, oh, look at this trend. That's interesting.
Yep.
Oh, wow, there's a lot of money leaking out of this bucket, right? And that's how we really start getting efficient and running your company like a business. So those are the 3 things that we're going to focus on.
3 tangible things you could do right now.
Start with that. If you want to come to the boot camp, hop on a call with Jared and I. We'll explain more about what it is. It's really a 12-week commitment.
Yeah.
It's 3 months, and it's super easy to jump in and jump out of.
Yeah.
And we're trying to make it to where we feel like there's a hole in what people need, and this is what we're filling with it. The kind of the base foundational stuff that guys need to get started that aren't quite ready for coaching yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're interested, go to prostruct360.com/bootcamp. prostruct360.com, and we'll see you there. You can hit contact us. You will get in contact with me and Jared directly. So this is not you're going to talk to one of our salesmen.
Right.
You're going to talk to us. So if you want to hear from us, go to the contact us. We'd love to talk to you. And hopefully we'll see you at our first boot camp.
Yep.
All right. Thanks so much for listening. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.